Welcome to the Being Human and Shit podcast. Today I have my guest, West.
Come
My
on.
guest, West.
Let's
Oh, hell
go.
yeah. I love that. AKA DJ Rico Cruz, the legendary DMB DJ of the Sacred Valley. Sometimes also goes by Wes. I was really confused when I first met him. But yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
appreciate it, bro.
podcast.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Excited to just hang out
Let's go.
for a little bit.
Let's go.
Yeah. How long have you been here? I have no fucking clue.
5 years.
5
5 years. I flew down in 2020 at the very end of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
There was an eclipse, a total solar eclipse in Chile, in the south of Chile, and Argentina, and there's a festival for it. So I flew down somewhat to get down there. But when I got to Lima, they wouldn't let me get into Chile because of the vaccine requirements that I didn't have at all. Like I was just kind of, trying to get there. So I got stuck in Lima, ended up going down to Puno for a couple of days, and then came up to Pisac. And when I was here, they shut down. So the quarantine had been open for like 9 months or something, or it had been happening for 9 months. They opened a window when I flew in, and then I was here for like a week and they closed down. So I got locked down in Peru for probably 2 years.
For
Since
2 years?
Yeah. And I've been here ever since.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did you just overstay your visa, or like how did that
Yeah, I
work? If they
super
like locked
overstayed.
you? Okay, gotcha.
I super overstayed.
Yeah.
And there are some different programs for it. Like I've got my residency now. That was basically for people who overstayed because of the pandemic somehow. I don't really understand what happened there, but yeah, there's something there with it. But yeah, I was just living in the mountains. So I lived in Urubamba, up valley from here for 6 months, more or less. And then I went up to Ollantaytambo and I stayed there for another 6 or 7 months before coming back to Pisac.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a mega trip.
What was it about Pisac that like why do you now stay here? Because you've been around the valley.
Yeah, I feel like the valley is its own ecosystem. Like it's a very special kind of energy. The Incas say, even the cultures before the Incas said that the Sacred Valley is the earthly representation of the Milky Way. So when you look up in the sky, when there's a clear sky, you can see the Milky Way, and it's a little bit off angle. It's not quite in the same direction, but apparently back in the day, it was the same direction as the Sacred Valley. So a lot of the different sites, like here in Pisac, Intihuatán, is built in the condor, or in the shape of a condor.
Yeah, somebody showed me that the other day when we were just like looking at the mountain, and then they showed me that the whole thing was a condor. That blew my mind.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And the second part of it is that it's built in the shape of the constellation of the condor in the Milky Way, on this part of the Milky Way. You know what I mean? And then up valley, up in Urubamba, the ruins are built in the shape of, I forget what it is, maybe a corn, like a choclo.
Choclo?
Yeah. For the Choclo constellation, that's higher up along the Milky Way.
There's a Choclo constellation?
I believe so.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I wish I was, man.
Seriously?
Yeah. I don't always see them, but like...
But they tell me it's there.
They tell me it's there, so I believe them. You know what I mean? I'll soak it up. And Machu Picchu as well. So above there is then Machu Picchu's built in the shape of a llama. So there's kind of this whole interplay of something happening with the people who've lived here and how they built their sites and how they interact with the world now based on the Milky Way. And more or less, like the constellations move around. And the people here, kind of the shamans or the taitas, the higher leaders of the spirituality, whatever you'd call it, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But at certain times of the year, would look up in the sky to see what the constellations were doing and like how they were oriented to each other. And that would give them an idea of what the energy was going to present itself here on Earth, So it's kind of like a cartoon, like the storyboard in the sky that was going to play out on Earth.
Interesting.
That would be right here in the Sacred Valley. So I feel like the Sacred Valley is like super, super powerful in that way. It's like very, magical and mystical. A lot of super cool stuff happens. And of all the different cities, Pisac seems like the metropolis. It's like where the things are happening, no?
Yeah.
It's just like events always, dances, parties, people.
So like my thought as to why that is though, and like why, sort of the people that are not from here, why all of us kind of chose Pisac was simply just because it's the first major city right outside of Cusco.
Yeah.
It's like the easiest to get to. That's not Cusco.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Cusco's just crazy.
Cusco's nuts.
Yeah.
Cusco's nuts. Have you spent much time in Cusco?
No, really not. Like Maeve and I will go down and spend like a night or two sometimes in a hostel and just kind of chill. But for the most part, no. It's also significantly colder there. Like at least to me, like I can feel the difference when it starts getting dark in Cusco. it starts getting real chilly. Whereas here it just gets a little chilly.
Totally.
But yeah, it's a crazy difference.
And it's extreme in Cusco too. Rainy season that's happening now. When it rains in Cusco, it's like streets are flooded. Sometimes you can't cross the street because it's like a torrential river going down, you know, and you're soaked. Like even the Stan Smiths. We get soaked, man.
Not the
up to the
Stan
knees.
Smiths.
The Stannies. The old Stannies. Yeah, I feel that too. And PSAC, for some reason, like attracts people, and the people who are meant to stay really do stay.
Yeah.
For a while.
I've heard people say that Peru in general, but like I think also the Sacred Valley, like it's one of those places that like you either come here and it's like obviously you're supposed to stay here and like you get welcomed, or it just like it like beats the shit out of you and just like spits you right out.
Yeah, and you got to go.
Yeah.
yeah. There's its own filtration system.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Yeah.
Have you lived in any other like quote unquote spiritual communities in other places before? Because you've done a lot of traveling.
Yeah, I've traveled quite a bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. I stayed in Flagstaff, so that was the last community I've kind of been in. It's close to Sedona, which I guess is more of a spiritual, you know,
spiritual hub.
Yeah, just like definitely quote end quote. So I stayed in Flagstaff, which is about an hour up the canyon from Sedona, and I found Flagstaff magical.
Yeah,
kind of in a way that PSAC is. Like there's a university there. There's one big mountain with a ski hill, and really cool people who are, you know, kind of living away from the system and also living in their own system, making their own cool stuff happen.
Yeah.
Flagstaff, I was in Koh Phangan for a while.
Koh Phangan.
Yeah, but in 2012. So
where is that?
Koh Phangan's Thailand.
Thailand, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So have you seen what's that movie, The Island, with Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, I actually haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's his movie.
I love Leo too.
He's great. He's great. It's his backpacker movie. No, he goes out and is traveling the world or something, or looking for something happening. And he's just a whole series of events leads him to this island in Thailand where they're just living this utopian life away, like off the grid. It kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
In Koh Phangan, but it's very similar to PSAC. Where there's lots of ceremonies, lots of different medicine ceremonies, super cool people, excellent music, parties, you know, all weekend, and a vibe. Sedona, Flagstaff, Koh Phangan, and I was in San Marcos in Guatemala.
Okay.
At the lake for a while. Have you been there?
No, I've not. Yeah. I honestly never heard of it until I came here. And so many people either come from there to PSAC or they're leaving PSAC to go there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I think I want to check it out. I don't know, the way that people describe it, it's one of those places where like I want to go there to just be there and like experience it, but it doesn't call to me in the same way that when I came here, like I knew I was coming here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just one of those like, yeah, it seems cool.
That could be nice. Yeah, totally.
Like,
totally.
yeah, I could hang.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, it's a cool place. It was a bit fiery. I was there also in 2013 or 2014. So I guess it's been 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
And from when I've talked to people, it's just exploded. I think I was there kind of at the start. I think it was still pretty. There's a lot of stuff going on, but apparently now it's just busy. And
where do you see PSAC in relation to like blowing up? Like, do you think this is the beginning? Do you think we're already kind of in the middle of it? Because I mean, it feels like more and more people are definitely coming here.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. Obviously, you know, I think on one side, in the last few years, I've seen things where it's like, yo, PSAC's about to blow up. And then it just doesn't.
Yeah.
There's something here.
I'd like it to stay that way.
I'd like to. Yeah, I don't necessarily know that the energy supports a lot of things like getting built up really big and sustaining themselves. Like I've seen projects have a lot of enthusiasm get built and like a lot of energy go towards them. They come up and then it just doesn't really work.
Yeah, it just doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and I felt that the last couple of times I've flown up here, even from Lima, when I go to Lima down on sea level and then come back up to the Andes, because we're about 3,000 meters up. Yeah. So we're high up in the air, like 2 miles up in the air. And I feel like this whole process of coming up the mountain, someone energetically or spiritually forces one to let go of any excess baggage that really they can't carry with them. You know, that just doesn't make sense to carry 2 miles up a mountain.
Yeah.
And these things kind of fall away. It's a nice idea to have all the cool stuff, but in the end, it just doesn't work. So I'm not sure totally. I think some cool things will happen. Like, things will come up slowly, like Soul Seed. You know, Soul Seed wasn't here 3 years ago. And
that's crazy to me, just because coming here, like Soul Seed was very clearly like the hub. And so to me, when I came here, I just assumed it had just been here for so long.
Like an
already.
institution.
Yeah.
I think energetically there was this feeling of unity and this feeling of, you know, community that was just everywhere that Soul Seeds somehow was able to channel, you know, or like just to pull it all together and give a space for it. But Soul Seeds is very much like within the fabric of everything versus it being like huge construction over here, another big building over here. It's like built very much into the existing ecosystem.
You know, it's actually just really funny. This is kind of off topic, but so like one of the main reasons I moved here was my friend Kevin, who I met on like my very first ayahuasca retreat like 3.5 years ago in Iquitos. That was his first ayahuasca retreat too. He's from Germany. He moved back to Germany. I moved back to the States, and then he ended up coming here to PSAC, and he's been here ever since.
Okay.
And so like he was the one person I knew here, and like just me staying in contact with him, you know, he's one of my best friends. Eventually that's sort of what like I think gave me the little nudge, like I gotta move here. Because I had never been here before we decided to fully move here. But he told me the last time I saw him, he was walking by here, and the very first place that he stayed in was the Soul Seed studio, like when this was like an actual house.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, super cool. Damn,
It's like
connected.
super random.
Yeah, totally. It's super strange how just everything clicks in like the labyrinth. No? So you when you came down here, before you were here, you're like, I'm moving to PSAC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I knew I was going to PSAC.
Okay, cool.
And funny thing is too, actually the first time, so when I went on that ayahuasca retreat, I was in Iquitos. Afterwards, I went to Lima for like a day, and then I was coming to Cuzco, and I was gonna do, you know, Rainbow Mountain, Machu Picchu, like stay in Cuzco for the rest of my time. I got to Cuzco and got like violently sick, and like not just altitude sickness, like I got high altitude pulmonary edema.
What is
which
that?
is where your lungs like essentially just can't handle the altitude, so they start to fill with fluid, and then you drown from the inside out. And so like I came here for the first time within literally like 18 hours. Like I tried going to bed, couldn't sleep. Like I had them call, you know, somebody to come like check me out. They're like, get in the ambulance. Like you need to go.
No
and
way.
like they put me on oxygen and like x-rayed my lungs and all that.
What?
And was like, you need to leave. Like you need to go back to sea level. You cannot stay here.
Damn.
There's no drugs they can give you. Like there's nothing they can give you except go back down to sea level. And so that was the only time that I had been here. And yet I was still like, yeah, I'm just gonna move to PSAC.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'm like, I feel like it'll work out this time.
Yeah,
like, no way that's gonna happen again.
God dang, thank God, man. And it didn't happen again.
No, I'm good. But it was just, it was funny. And like you know, when I told people that I was moving here, they're like, isn't that the place that you almost died? I was like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that one.
You have to go back in, bro. You have to go back in. I mean, I feel you on that. Like I was down in Santiago a couple months ago in July. But a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when I left Peru for the first time after a couple years, I was in Santiago and couldn't find a place to stay, and I ended up getting robbed like at gunpoint in
Holy
a park.
shit.
Yeah, I slept in the park in Santiago.
You really are just like a stray dog sometimes.
I'm not joking. Yeah. This whole street dog, house dog, like yeah. I was like, oh, I can't find a spot. There's a park. I'll just whatever, you know.
No
and I
shit.
had been dieting ayahuasca for months, right? So I had been in ayahuasca portal for probably 6 months with quite a few ceremonies and like gone in. So when I was staying in this dark park, I'm like, yo, can't touch me.
Ayahuasca's got me.
I walk in the spirit world. You know what I mean? Check this out. I'm gonna chill in this park. And everyone I talked to was like, dude, do not sleep in that park. And I'm like, no, you don't understand.
You
I'm
don't
on the
get.
path.
I'm fucking zen, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I've done some stuff, you know? And I end up sleeping at this one fountain, this like German fountain in the middle of the Santiago, and pretty much downtown Santiago when I first get there. And yeah, I was on my way to Patagonia. I thought I had to get down to the very south of the South Pole pretty much, you know? So I'm on this journey going down there, stopped in Santiago, get to the park, I have to sleep there. I'm sleeping at the fountain. And this guy walks up to me. He's missing all his teeth, so he's probably a drug addict. And he had this pole, and he comes up and he's like, "Hey, bro, what time is it?" You know, and he's asking me what time it is. You know, and I'm like, can kind of see through it. I'm like, not gonna pull out my phone.
Yeah.
So then he's gonna try to rob my phone. You know, I'm not giving him the time of day. So I keep delaying or whatever. You know. And he's there for an hour. I can't really shake him, you know? Yeah. And finally, after the hour, I'm like, bro, whatever. I pull up my phone, 2:22 or 12:22, something like this. I'm like, yo, it's his time. And he's like, nice. You know what I do with this stick? I was like, no idea. He's like, I break people's skulls with it, and I take their phone. I'm like, okay, cool. So I got up in his face, I got up right up in his face. I'm like, bro, you're not taking my phone. This isn't happening.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got in his face, he like backed down and was like, yo, you passed the test. You can sleep in the park. You can obviously handle your own, so you can sleep in the park. Yeah. And I was like, chill. Okay, cool. I can sleep in the park, but not going to sleep here on this fountain, smell like piss. It was like not a cool spot anyway. So he left. I grabbed my stuff and I went and tried to find a tree or find somewhere else in the dark of the woods.
I'm going to be honest. I think that would have been the time in which I would have been like, maybe I'm going to try to find a different park.
I mean, yeah. It was a long walk, man. I literally walked for hours around these parks, like looking for a place to stay. And I would just like be walking in and out of stuff.
That's crazy.
It was nuts.
Either way, continue the story.
It was nuts. Santiago's a cool place, but it gets nuts.
Yeah.
So I'm finding this other tree to go sleep in. I try to sleep in the tree. So I climbed a tree and try to sit with my legs around the tree and like, put myself in it to sleep in there properly.
Yeah.
Realized after like 40 seconds that was not going to work. So I drop out the tree and this other guy comes up and he's like, hey man, you sleep in the park? I was like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking. And he's like, yo, listen, there's dangerous people in this park. If you're staying here, maybe come stay with us. You come stay with me. I'll take care of you. And I was like, oh, dope. Awesome. Homie's going to take care of me.
Yeah.
So I walk with him. We walk around some stuff. We jump a fence and go to some place where there's literally 2 mattresses, like mattress, then a space of like 6 feet and another mattress covered with this tarp and like broken sticks and all. It was kind of a mess. But anyways, he pulls a tarp up. There's a dude sleeping in there. And the space in the middle, he's like, yo, you just stay here. You're cool if you just want to stay here and whatever. And then in the morning you can go. So I was like, dude, dope. Got homies, got a spot to stay. So I go sit down, take all my stuff off. I like chill. I get, I go to sleep a little bit. I'm like dozing off. And then he's kicking me or somebody's kicking me awake, and I'm like shaking my eyes. And I wake up and this dude's got a gun to my head. And I was like, yo, give me all your shit. Yeah. And I was like, bro, dude, I thought we were homies. You know what I mean? I'm like, I thought we were homies, bro, from the start, dude.
I thought that spirit just led me here.
Straight up. Like, oh, I can't believe it, So, anyways, I ended up giving him my phone. I had a little bit of money left. I didn't give him the money, but I gave him the phone.
Yeah.
And he walked off, and I just grabbed my stuff, and
He didn't take like your backpack or anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
I guess that's cool. They just want phones down there.
They just want phones or something or money. And he was like, where's your money? Give me your money. I'm like, bro, if I had money, I wouldn't be staying here in the park. Yeah, like straight up. And
like, you think if I had money, I'd be here right now?
Yeah. In this spot of all spots. Like, and he was like, oh, okay.
That's cool. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, So whatever, that kind of did a thing and I left and went on a new adventure.
You make it down to Patagonia?
Not that year. I ended up going back to Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. I ended up going back to Canada. I think that was the first time I actually called my parents.
No shit.
And I was like, yo.
How old were you at the time?
20, maybe 30 actually.
30, yeah.
Yeah, I think I was 30. I was like, yo, I'm over this. Like, I can't do it. Because I didn't have enough money to get home or to go down to Patagonia. I think I had $100 left.
Damn.
I had $100. Yeah, I had $100 left. And I was still, so after this, I was still like, I'm going to go to Patagonia. So I went to the bus station the next day after sleeping in a different park in a bush. Went to the bus station, bought a ticket that was like 40 USD. And I go to get on the bus, and this was like a 20-hour bus ride to Valverde or something, or Valdivia, which is pretty close to Patagonia. And then my idea was I would just walk to Patagonia from that point when I ran out of money. And buy the ticket for the bus, chilling in the bus station. I go to get on the bus. I give the guy my ticket, and he's like, where's your COVID vaccine? Or where's your COVID test? I was like, yeah, I don't have that. I don't need that. He's like, you need that to get on the bus. You have to get this. And I was like, no. They told me I didn't. And then he's like, well, do you have the PCR? And I had a PCR test from a couple days before when I crossed into Chile on my phone. And I was like, yeah, I got it. And I was like, shit, I don't have it. So
damn.
Yeah, so I had the $100, $40 on this ticket, and then I couldn't get on the bus.
Obviously, they wouldn't refund you.
And they wouldn't refund it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I couldn't help. I was like, yo, it's my last money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to refund me. What am I gonna do? I literally just paid $40 for something I can't use. And he's like, yo, we can't help you.
Damn.
You can't do anything. Yeah, so I was like, this is fucking nuts. So anyways, there's a McDonald's at the bus station. Got a couple Happy Meals. You know what I mean? Thought about my life. Like, literally ate McDonald's and my comfort food, Fucking trippy, just sitting there like, I'll just eat the rest of my money in McDonald's food. And then eventually with that money, I called my parents.
Yeah.
I called my parents back in Canada. I was like, yo.
Hey guys, I fucked up.
I fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you fly me home? So that was a different adventure. But anyways, the whole point of that journey was eventually I went back to Santiago this year, which was 2 or 3 years later. Went to the same spot, Went to the same, and I just kind of had to do it. I was
Yeah.
like, you know, just to
You have to
reclaim
face it.
something. Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
And I'm looking at that park like, why the fuck did I ever sleep here, man? You know what I mean? What was wrong with me? Like, as if I thought this was a good idea. Like, hell no.
That's so funny.
But yeah. So how did you get to Iquitos? Like, so you flew to Iquitos just for ayahuasca?
Yeah, that was the original. Like, yeah, I was at that point in my life where I knew just something needed to change, and I didn't know what. Like, I had no idea. I knew at that point though, like, I really fucked with psychedelics. Like, I knew that.
What year was this?
This was 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, 2022. And I knew that I liked psychedelics a lot. I was working in tech sales, and you know, the way that I kind of describe this point in my life is I had everything that I had set out to do, which was, you know, like as far as monetarily and like success, like I did very quickly, and then felt empty.
Yeah, nothing.
And then so it was like I knew something needed to change. I had no idea what. I didn't know what was holding me back. I knew I fucked with psychedelics a lot. I had heard about ayahuasca probably about 2.5 years earlier, just randomly listening to a podcast.
Oh, cool.
And when I first heard about it, I was like, yeah, that's not for me. And then, you know, over time, it just kept on showing up in these weird ways to the point where I was like, I have to do this.
Okay.
Nobody in my life had ever done that before. Like, we like to take acid and like go to shows or like hang out in a park. As far as like intentional psychedelic use, like that was non-existent to me, at least as far as what I thought. Like, I had done a few like solo, what I would now call like solo ceremonies, but that was just me intuitively being like, I think I need to take 5 grams of mushrooms by myself.
Yeah,
and then just doing that, and that would help me somehow. But yeah, just decided to pretty much say fuck it and just go do ayahuasca.
Awesome.
It was just for a week. Did like a short, like week-long diet too. And yeah, dude, that just, I mean, it changed everything. Like that absolutely changed the trajectory of my life.
Okay.
And just pretty much from that point, I came back to the States, knew that I did not like my job in tech sales, got laid off like a month later.
No way.
And was like, I think that was supposed to happen because I was too much of a pussy to do that myself.
Word.
And I started doing a different podcast. So this is my second podcast. Cool. So I started my first one, and pretty much my intention with that was called the Trip Sitting Podcast, was just I wanted to meet people in like the psychedelic scene. Cause that's right when in the US, Denver just got decriminalized, or like Colorado was getting decriminalized. Okay. Oregon was getting legalized. Okay. I was living in Chicago. So I decided I'm going to move to Denver, and just I want to see what's happening, like what's going on. And then with that podcast, really the main reason I started it, and it worked like a goddamn charm, was just to meet people and get access to people within that scene that normally I would never get a chance to talk to.
Super cool.
And I'm like, yo, I got a podcast. Like, let's like talk about what you're doing. Yeah. People love talking about themselves. So, so yeah, did that, and you know, met some cool people. Like, I ended up working for a couple of retreat centers doing sales for them.
Cool.
And still though, like not everything was like, nothing was really clicking. Like I still felt a little like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, what is my role in like all of this, especially when it came to like, you know, the psychedelic scene and spirituality and all that stuff. And then it just became clear. I'm like, I think I need to get the fuck out of here and move to, and like go to where like ayahuasca is one, like from, and just chill for a little bit, like not have the pressure of having to make so much money just to afford basic things, and just live. And yeah, dude, it's been almost 11 months now here. Wow, cool. And things are definitely, I don't want to say things are clear, but I feel a lot more centered and a lot more okay with just the idea of it doesn't need to be figured out. And like I never need to figure it out. Yeah. I just need to put one step in front of the other. And like, I keep saying this, like this has been my motto for the past year. It's just chop wood, carry water. That's it.
Nice.
Like I need to get comfortable with that. Like if I can't be comfortable just doing the daily little things that I know I want to do, that my mind is like, you don't have to, but I'm like, but like if I can get like the willpower to be like, no, I want to do this. Yeah, it's work. Yeah, maybe it's hard, but like I want to do this. Yeah. I want to put in the work and just see where it goes. Like with no expectation. None of that. And like, ironically, that led me to wanting to do stand-up comedy, which is just the
unreal.
fucking biggest cosmic joke I could ever think of.
Yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah.
But like that's like when I go back, you know, I want to start hitting like open mics and stuff, and
Cool.
actually like putting some more energy into that.
For
You know, I
sure.
could go once a week here, but you know, it's different.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a bigger audience. Well,
Yeah.
I guess a different audience, but like a bigger one, you know?
Yeah. People that want to see comedy.
Yeah. Yeah,
people
true.
that came there
For
to
comedy.
see a comedy show.
Yeah, word. Yeah, comedy's an interesting one, man. Like it's super cool to watch you up there
Yeah.
and also go through this whole journey. Like because I feel that DJing sometimes where I like play a show and it's epic.
When did you start DJing?
When did I start playing shows?
Yeah. I guess like when did you start really, you know, not just like being in your room and like fucking around, but
so the first time I really played was Pachamama Day, so August 1st.
Pachamama Day.
Yeah. Probably 2023.
oh, that's pretty recent.
Either 20. Brent, can I ask you questions? Do you remember when we went to Chucky Kidao? Was it 2022 or 2023? 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Okay, crazy. Oh, I thought it was 3 years. Yeah, so it's 2 years ago. Thank you. So August 1st, 2023
No shit.
was when I started. Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. And it was nuts because I had been practicing, or I bought a controller. One of my friends years ago was an epic DJ that I was just chilling with, a Pisces guy. And I was like, bro, how do you do that? Like, I want to do that. And he told me, he's like, yo, you buy a controller and I'll show you how to DJ.
Yeah.
And the next day I walked down, bought a controller, brought it up, and he's like, yo, dude, I've told that to 200 people and nobody's ever bought a machine. Like, okay, I wasn't really expecting this, but I guess I'll teach you. So for a couple of weeks, he showed me how everything worked and whatnot. And I had that for a while, but this was maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And then it got stolen at a music festival, you know, something like my van got robbed at so I left it and I was like, all right, doing something else. And before that time I was living with Tiger, who's an excellent DJ from here. I was living with him and he was showing me how to do some stuff. And finally one day I wanted a party. There was a Pachamama party at Soul Seed, you know, for Pachamama Day with a despacho and chicha and all the things. And I was like, I think today's the day. I just have to do it. So rented speakers, you know, like paid $400 for speakers or $400 for speakers to have the space. Got the control, got everything, and then went up and played. And kind of from that point, it was nuts.
Can you still like remember that feeling of you going up for like the first time, like doing that in front of people?
Kind of, because it doesn't really go away. I'm not sure if this is the same for you in stand up, but like this feeling of agitation and anxiety and excitement and just like, oh, do I actually know what I'm doing, or do I not know what I'm doing? Is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? But also like, yeah, I'm doing it. It's such like a mix of different things that are coming together that I still feel.
Yeah. I was gonna say I that hasn't gone away for me. Like I still feel that every time. And again, I'm going up for fucking 5 minutes and, you know, saying my shit and leaving.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna die. But like it's still, but like I think my body feels like it is sometimes.
For sure. And I could imagine like from your point of view, like as a DJ, I've got the music between me and the people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, all right, and lots of producers out there make excellent next level transcendental music that I can choose and just, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas stand up, you're like, that's you. All the lights in action on you, you know.
It's interesting. Honestly, what I will say is like it's really cool. The people that are here in PSAC, like the people that have stayed and like that go to that, it's cool to have people like you and like, you know, Mariah and Ruben and like all those people that have actually been there since I started to see, like, to actually see sort of like the journey.
Totally.
And it's you know, like it's nice to have that because like it is a very solo thing. And so to feel like I'm in it, like, again, you know, I feel like in the States, at least, when you start doing that, you kind of start seeing the same people that are also doing that and also having that journey. Here, I don't have that. Like nobody else does stand up. Like I don't have anybody to like run my shit off of.
True.
Other than after the show being like, yo, how was that? Did you laugh?
Yeah, straight up.
Like which part can I change? Like what advice do you have? And then me taking that into account, or sometimes being like, it's a shitty idea. And then, you know, moving on from there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, I find it interesting. Like you saying chop wood, carry water. Like this is very chop wood, carry water, where there's no clear that like you chop wood so you can burn the wood. Like you chop the wood and then all of a sudden you burn it and you got to do it again.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
And carry the water so you can drink the water and, you know, use it to bathe. And then you need to go get more water.
Yeah, there's no point. Like you don't reach a point where you're like, and I found this DJing where I'd play a show that was epic, and I was like, I am now the best DJ of all time.
Shit.
Yeah. Check this out. I can't wait to play again and do that all over. And the next show sucked, you know, and I hated it. And like, honestly, it was a ride for me walking in where like I'd play an excellent show and feel on top of the world, and then I go in and play a couple bad shows and literally feel like I couldn't show my face in the community.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I can't even go there. I can't take the chance they might kick me out because I'm not as good of a DJ or like, you know, or of good as of whatever performers as, you know, they thought I was, or that I, you know, want to be something egotistical. But
it is crazy how the mind judges you so harshly on that thing and thinks that everyone else thinks the same thing. Like, even though we know that they don't. Like, I know that everyone else is in their own little fucking world, and like they're gonna forget about this in 5 minutes.
Yeah, totally.
But yet in my mind, it's such this big thing of like, oh my God, like I am the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks that I'm stupid. Like, why would I even try again?
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, being able to get away from that and realize that like it just is all bullshit. Like none of it's like it's real, but it's also not real at the same time.
Totally. Yeah, when I think of my own, not judgments, but like watching people perform in general, like open mic, anybody performing at open mic, like I'm never like,
same.
What a bad person.
No,
you know what I mean? Ever, not even close. It's like dope.
Even
cool.
when I see people that I can tell it's not coming out the way that they want it to, or that they're messing up in a way, always for me, like I'm always like, fuck yeah, like go up there and like keep doing it. And it's so funny that I do that, and yet I think when I go up there that people aren't doing the same thing.
Totally.
Which they are.
Totally.
But how my mind somehow just doesn't see the like logical fallacy in that.
Yeah, totally. It's like the worst thing ever. It's so interesting. It's interesting living in community in that way. You know, of on one side being like, yo, it doesn't matter what people think. You know, it can't matter because it's only me, because I'm having my experience. But then on the other side, being like, but we live all together, you know, we're all around each other. But then also looking at your own things with other people and be like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah. But then for some reason thinking that it'd be different for you. Like it's this funny thing of individuality and collective consciousness or something that gets strange.
Yeah. I'm going to change the subject here. I feel like you're somebody that has lived like so many different lives and maybe is still also concurrently living those lives. Like, for example, you still play hockey at like a pretty high level. And I know you're super into like astrology, which I'd love to get into because I've never had a conversation with you about that. But cool. Like, I don't know, how do you see all of the different things that you do, like, you know, forming this like version of you that you are? Like, do you like compartmentalize that, or like how are you able to show up as like all of that all the fucking time?
Oh, interesting. That's a good question. Yeah, I feel that there's an essence to who we are. Yeah, and there's a couple things that we really love to do. You know, I was watching hockey the other day with my friend Biggie, and we were talking about the singularity, or how computational power and data and all these things, and like the amount of energy out here and the amount of like creational whatever opportunity and potential. Like we're at a really interesting point to be able to create whatever life we want to. We believe, and that's kind of what we talked about. Yeah. And I was thinking there, I'm like, yo, what would I do if I could do anything right now? What would I want to do? And I was like, yo, play in the Olympics and try to win an Olympic gold medal for the hockey team. You know, like that's all I want to do. Like I wish I could just jump in and do that now. And it's a real thing. I'm not just saying it. You know, like that feeling of playing hockey for me is total freedom. You know, especially growing up in Canada, where hockey was everywhere, and you know, it would freeze for 4 months of the year, and we would just be on the ice. I'd be on the ice skating. You know, my dad would teach me how to skate and get me skates, and I have a stick and a puck and go out and like imagine winning all the trophies and doing the cool things, and then learning how to do it properly, and you know, going fast. I love it. You know, scoring goal. Like some of these things just feel super ingrained in me as a thing that I just
like you can't not do it.
Pretty much. I dream about it, you know, like I literally dream about winning Stanley Cups and scoring goals, you know? So like when I'm in life, it's like, all right, let's see how I can do this. And so before I came to Peru, when I was in Flagstaff, I had a tryout with a minor pro team in Ohio or Missouri, I forget, but I had a tryout with a like low tier pro team, and I had some money left, so I was going to go try out for this team to play more hockey.
Yeah.
And I was training, so I was hiking around the Grand Canyon one day, and I came to the top of the Grand Canyon. At the end of the day, sunset going down. I'm chilling, looking over the this beautiful situation, and this big black condor flies by. And my friends, I don't know where they were, but I was alone. It was just me on top of the Grand Canyon, at the edge of the Grand Canyon, and a condor flies by like 20 feet in front of me, and I'm like, what is this? It was so beautiful and epic, and I could just, time slow down. And so it flew by, and I'm looking at it, and it's like a black laser beam that just cut through the dimension of time, space, reality, And it comes in, flies away, and I was like, what was that? I closed my eyes, and I could just see the Andes. Yeah, I could see the Andes Mountains and then the terraces, and then I'd seen Machu Picchu in pictures before. And I saw Machu Picchu, and every time I closed my eyes from that point on, I saw Machu Picchu and these Andes here. I was like, yo, I'm pretty sure I got to go to the Andes.
I just got goosebumps, bro.
Wild, man. Yeah, right? Wild. Yeah, it was crazy. It was just like, boom. And so it was clear, and I tried to fight it. I was like, yeah, but hockey, but... And then finally, it was like, yeah, I got to come to Peru. So I bought my ticket to Peru. And I'm not much of a planner. Like, I'm not so good at trying to. Yeah, it's not like a thing. You know what I mean? And so I bought a flight for a month from that point. And somehow the day I bought my flight for was when Peru lifted the quarantine.
Oh shit!
Right,
so that was just that just happened to happen
synchronistically, serendipitously. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy, and then they're like, yeah, you can fly in. So I flew in and was here for 10 days, and they locked down again.
Yeah.
So it was like this crazy message from the Condor.
Yeah, and then they closed down. So you're like, well, I'm really meant to be here then.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. And the day that I bought my flight, I called the coach and was like, hey man, I'm not coming. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. We canceled the season's canceled from COVID.
Oh,
anyways.
No shit.
Yeah. So it's kind of everything just clicked into place now. And kind of in the decision-making process of coming down to Peru, I just had this thing of like, yo, hockey will be there. Like, yeah, I'm getting older, but hockey will be there. But mission now is to go to the Andes and kind of become the medicine of the Andes, or like, like
see this thing through.
Yeah. Be in touch with Peru, be in touch with whatever this calling is. And then if anything, imagine coming down here and becoming the Andes and then going back to play hockey as the Andes, and winning Stanley Cups or something, would be kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But
they call me Apu.
Straight up activation, baby. Let's go. So it's things like this where it's like, I tend to very much live in like the feeling of things, like where I'm being called to. I'm like, yeah, oof, I guess I go this direction. Sometimes it leads me crazy places, like in, robbed in a park and whatnot. But
have you been this way like your whole life?
I've been super impulsive. Okay. I know that was a thing. Like, I think if you asked my mom and my dad, like one character trait of mine, it'd be impulsive.
Yeah.
Passionate and impulsive.
Yeah.
I'm just like Yep, doing it.
I want it.
Have to. Yeah, straight out. And not a whole lot of like thinking
ahead and planning. Like, well, how is this gonna happen? You're like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. We'll just be there.
Yeah.
Straight up. So I think there's a fair bit of that, and like that way of life has been interesting to me. And astrology, I mean, also with the impulsivity thing. So I'm kind of like twerking the story around here a little bit, but
it's okay. I feel like you move between worlds in the way, and like one of the reasons I'm happy you talked about hockey is like, I feel like in these spiritual communities, a lot of people can get so wrapped up in like the spirituality and like the medicines and like that they lose these parts of themselves that like are like actually like the real fucking like meat on the bones. They sort of sidestep that, and they're like, no, like this isn't me anymore. Like, really, I just want to be a fucking Zen master in the Buddha meditating. So it's cool. It's cool when I talk to people that stuff, it's still, not only is it still there, but that's still like such an important part of it. Like, you almost use that as a spiritual practice in and of itself.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, it was funny. I went down to Argentina to play in this, I forget what the cup was called, but Copa de Fin del Mundo, so the end of the World Cup. So it's the most southern city in South America, in Ushuaia in Argentina, in Patagonia. From this town is where you take the boats to Antarctica. So it's like end of the world, end of southern world, whatever, like these ice mountains in the winter, for this ice hockey tournament that I went to play in with the Peruvian team, the Alpacas. And yeah, they would chant, when I got the puck, they would chant Palo Santo. I'd get the puck, and then like I'd hear people chanting something, and then I ended up winning the leading goal scorer when I was down there
No shit.
somehow, which was cool. And when I won the
Probably
award,
because you're bigger than all of them.
bigger, yeah, and Canadian, bro, and Canadian,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there's something with being Canadian in hockey,
Yeah.
like. And so when I went up to get the award, everyone was chanting something, and I'm like, "What are they chanting?" And it was Palo Santo, Palo Santo, and I was like, "All right, Palo Santo, let's go." And I'm like, "Why do they call me Palo Santo?" And the homies are like, "Bro, because wherever you go, you smell like Palo Santo." You know what I mean? And I did. I had this hockey equipment smells,
Yeah.
like when you. And so I had a spray Agua Florida with Palo Santo oil.
Yeah.
This like pure Palo Santo oil from the jungle, which means sacred wood.
Yeah.
That's used in ceremony, and every ceremony I go to, like Palo Santo is where it's at. And I would just spray all my equipment with Palo Santo and burn Palo Santo. So everywhere I was going, I was just in the
so
Palo
funny.
Santo. So it's kind of interesting how the worlds do mix.
Yeah.
Somehow. And yeah, for me, I'm happy you say that, because I feel like the one side of the spiritual world is like, what do I really feel inspirited by is hockey.
Yeah.
Like I want to play hockey. I'm like, the spirit is there. I'm like, let's go, or astrology, like when the thing's coming through, it's like the spirit is there. So I think there's one side of being like, Shanti and whatever, beautiful and gentle and whatever kind of sometimes. But yeah, I feel like we're here to live.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, and get messy and chop the wood.
Aho.
And, straight up,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And send it like, so it's been a cool one. And,
With the astrology, when did you start getting into that?
so astrology, pretty much 2013, I would say.
Okay.
And it goes in with hockey, actually. Like, they're kind of all connected. I finished.
That was like before it was cool for guys to be into astrology.
Yeah, potentially. Oh, I remember the time when it was not cool. I had a girlfriend, a Cancer girlfriend, who figured out my birthday, and she's like, "Oh, you're a Scorpio. Like me and you are gonna get together. It's gonna like be nice." And I was like, "Cool. Let's talk about something else." Yeah, nice. Moving on now. But when I finished hockey, so when I was about 21, my junior career was over, and I just had no prospects. After that, like my career was over.
Yeah.
And I remember walking downtown having this realization of like, oof, hockey's over. Oh, okay. I guess that's it. What do I do? And little thought bubble in my head, literally like a cartoon thought bubble, said cocaine. Yeah, straight up. It was just like, boom, cocaine. I
You're
was
like, oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, straight up. I'm like, well, that's kind of clear. I guess, like, what else do we do from that? And like, thought bubble on the right side of my head. Left side was a homie inside a bar. And I was like, okay. And I look over my boy. I'm like, yo, cocaine. And he was like, yeah, $80. I was like, all right, $80. Gave him the $80. He went in with the $80, came out with a bag of Coke. I took it, didn't really know what to do, walked to a bathroom in another bar, crushed it up and started snorting Coke. And from that point on, like, it went from hockey being life to cocaine being life.
Okay.
You
Gotcha.
know?
That's it's a pretty drastic change.
It was just like, boom. But in some ways, yes, but in some ways, no. Like, cocaine is dopamine.
It's the like aggressive energy of like, let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go and reward. So when you
Yeah.
snort Coke, like, you've isolated the reward chemical. So
Yeah.
you snort a line, you're like, I did good. Look what I did, guys. I am awesome. And then it goes away after like 5 minutes or 7 minutes. You're like, I feel like I did something bad. And you're like, you know what?
I got more.
I got more. I'm going to be good again. Boom. And you're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like hockey. Not that you're snoring, but it's like, quick rewards or something. Like, you're trying to get the puck.
Yeah.
Boom. You fight
Dish
someone
it
off the
off.
puck, get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe score, maybe don't. Get scored on loot, It's this whole thing with something there. So it was like a very clean transference. Where all of a sudden I was like, all right, this is all I want to do with my life.
This is it.
Do cocaine. This is it. I found it. I found the thing. And I remember there being a thing like where I could feel myself going down. I was like, yo, I don't think I should spend $500 on Coke right now. But I want to see where this goes, and I was like, I had money for school. And I'm like, you know what? I think maybe school is cool. I should think
I
about,
might learn more on these streets.
yeah, straight up. So, and I used the rest of my money for school for drugs.
Yeah.
And this was 2009, I would say, maybe 2000. I think it was 2009 when that happened. And for the next 4 years, I was pretty much coked up as much as possible. And
were you working at that point? Like, how
I was
did
in
you-
school.
Okay, gotcha.
So I was in
You're
school.
still in school. Okay.
Yeah, I was in school, so I had money for school and credit cards. And then I would sell, like I was selling
Tight.
things. Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah. So it all kind of worked itself
Cool.
out.
That's how I paid for my last year of college.
Right?
Yeah, selling cocaine.
I'm a terrible cocaine seller.
I was really good at it.
Were you?
Actually, I liked cocaine just enough that like, you know, I would do it, but I didn't like it enough to where I would do like I cared a lot more like making money gave me more of a dopamine hit than doing cocaine.
Okay,
did.
cool. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I just wanted to go in. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to figure out what was at the bottom of that. You know what I mean? And I remember being there and being like, this is a lot, but okay, how much farther does it go, you know? And I went like that for years. I ended up in Guatemala working at a friend's startup there, bartending and doing lots of coke.
Of course.
And I would be doing, so kind of the last straw was at Christmas. I was in Guatemala, Christmas, just doing lines of coke in my room. My family was calling me in Canada, and I was just not answering. You know, I was like, no, I can't talk. I'm coked out, and I'm like making it snow on my own here. You know, like literally had that thought, like it was super cool, but like not cool. You know, like I wasn't having a great time. And at some point in there, I was like, yo, there's got to be more to life than this. Like, you know what? Who am I? Like, I'm doing coke and partying and don't know what's going on and like chasing babes and like, what is this? And for some reason, I remembered my ex-girlfriend being like, yeah, you're a Scorpio and, you know, I'm a Cancer. It's going to work out because we're water signs. And I was like, that's so weird. But okay, what's a Scorpio? So I look up Scorpio on Google. And Scorpio is like obsessive, you know, prone to addiction, you know, like ready to get into. I was like, oh my
damn,
God.
that bitch was right.
Yeah, straight up. Like this is describing a lot, you know. And then there was a Scorpio man, Scorpio woman, Scorpio chill, like all these different things to click on. And I was like, okay, Scorpio man, what's up? Click it, and it described me even more.
Yeah.
You know, so I felt very seen from that point in like a really dark kind of, you know, like rock bottom, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, and astrology or having this self-understanding about Scorpio in that moment was like a light in the dark.
Yeah.
And from that point, I kind of switched addictions.
No shit.
Yeah, so I went from hockey to cocaine to astrology, you know, and then all of a sudden I just like pushed all the other stuff out of the way and was just like 8 hours a day, probably maybe 9 hours a day, just reading astrology, just going into everything, like reading about my sign and all the different signs around it. Discovered a birth chart and all the different things that happened there and started reading my own. And then, you know, instead of talking to people about drugs and partying, I'd be like, yo, when's your birthday, dog? You know what I mean? What's going on here? You know, and so it gave me a way to connect to people, which is probably why I was doing all these drugs and doing the thing in the first place.
It's all for
connection.
Connection, feeling like we're part of something outside of ourselves, even though we don't maybe consciously make that decision, but like that's what we want. Like all of us want to feel like we're a part of this. Like we don't want to feel so goddamn alone.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And like we feel like we belong and have something to contribute maybe somehow, or like we can be a part in a way that's appreciated. And so I found that, I find that was, I think 2013. Yeah. So that was a while, you know, of that thing happening. It was a whole journey with it.
Yeah. So really quick, can you tell me what the fuck's going on right now?
I mean, really quick, yes.
As quickly as you can.
Quick as possible. So right now, literally right now, Saturn, which is kind of a important planet for everybody, is at the very beginning of the zodiac. Okay. So like kind of at conception point, you know? So like sperm more or less is about to enter the egg field, you know?
Gotcha.
At 0 degrees. Aries. So 0 degrees Aries is a very beginning. It's like the initial match that starts the entire zodiac.
What does that mean? Like when somebody says like X degrees this, like what does any of that mean? So I know nothing about astrology other than like I'm a Capricorn.
Okay, word. Okay. So in that way, for degrees, like we assume astrologically, like when we look at the sky and how everything works, we're saying that the sun is in the middle and the earth is going around the sun.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the easiest way for us to calculate that is to divide the sky into different parts. Yeah. So like in half and then in a quarter and then thirds. So it makes like 12 parts of the sky or 12 months. Yeah. You know, that the earth is going around the sun. So the sun's in a different position or the earth is in a different position relative to the sun over these 365 days, more or less.
Gotcha.
And what the degree is basically saying that every day we move a degree. Gotcha. The earth moves 1 degree. So a circle has 360 degrees, like when you divide it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? Yeah. So basically we've simplified the sky to be 360 different individual parts that we can look at and be like, this planet is here now. So it's going to act this way, you know?
Gotcha.
To just calculate.
Okay.
So 0 degrees Aries is where it begins. That's like spring.
Got it.
The very first, like, and spring comes after winter when everything's cold, nothing's moving. So like dimensionally, like ice, nothing's moving in the winter. And then the first spring, the first heat, the sun comes and starts heating the water particles and they start moving.
Yeah,
Just
vibrating.
yeah. That vibration is Aries. Just the first vibration of life from the freeze.
Okay.
From when nothing's moving, everything, dead. And then the heat comes and it starts moving the thing. And that's Aries, where it just begins for no reason. It's not trying to get anywhere. It doesn't have like a goal of, self-realization or anything. It's just moving because there's heat.
Got it.
And that's where Saturn is right now. It's entering that window where it's starting to get the heat of the impulse of spirit and life and individuality and whatnot. Yeah. And Neptune's there as well. So Neptune's just a little bit in front of it, already like going through the doorway. And Saturn tomorrow is going to catch up and they're going to be exact on top of each other for the first time in like thousands of years.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a big cycle. It's a huge cycle happening right now. So Neptune's a planet of dissolution. So it dissolves things, like it breaks barriers down between things. And Saturn is the planet of crystallization and form.
Got it.
And discipline. You know? So
they seem to be opposites for the most part.
For the most part, yeah they're two different things.
Yeah.
And so coming into Aries now, Neptune in Aries. So like I said before, Aries is the first impulsive action, the first movement where you're just like, all right, we're doing this. Like this is where we are. We're doing this.
Yeah.
And Neptune being there will dissolve the barriers between us and that impulse. So it's like we become one with the impulse of
with that.
Yeah, with
the impulse of like movement and like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it strips the barriers away. So we're not like, why am I doing this? Or like, do I really want to? Or like, should I? Or is this okay? It's just like, okay, this is what is happening.
Yeah.
So it's a big surrender point into the self, into our own impulse, and surrendering it into what we actually want to do. Or what we feel like we have to do.
Okay.
So surrendering into that and be like, all right, this is what's happening. Like we kind of have to surrender at this point. Really. There's not a whole lot to grab onto.
Yeah.
Or to force. But then Saturn comes in and crystallizes that. So, we're like, okay, what do we, this is happening. We're in the thing. And Saturn's like, yeah, this is how.
Right here. This is it. Do this thing.
Exactly. So it brings like a super high focus point to it. Right. And then it starts bringing rules and ways of doing it around it. So
Structure.
Yeah. So more or less like the things that are important to us now, like the things we want to do right now, like hockey and DJing for me and astrology and, the people in our circle now, like it might change a little bit, but it's an important time right now to be very present in what's happening, not to have any pressure that it has to turn out a certain way, but for things to come in. Also, I tattoo, and I've been drawing a lot more these past couple of days, and things are starting to come into form. And one side of it is like, yo, this isn't looking exactly how I want it to, but the other side is like, okay, I'm surrendering into it and allowing the things to come through, because the forms of Saturn is going to start like somewhat compressing down, or more or less building a channel, like building an outlet, a strong outlet that energy of Neptune and of Aries and this new impulse can come through and like be channeled through us.
Gotcha.
So for
and
people who
Saturn can kind of crystallize it
and make the channel, it's almost like Saturn's a metal tube.
Like it's like a prism, maybe even
a prism,
like taking like all this light and putting it
in a way. Yeah, totally. Like we're becoming this new form of expression, and then Saturn's like, all right, but we're doing it this way through here, So it's a discombobulating time, to say the least. You know, we're getting broken apart so we can get put back together as kind of a crystal.
Okay.
There's
also one other question that I have as well is just because nobody's ever actually really explained it to me. What the fuck does Saturn return mean? What actually happens in that time?
Yeah.
And like when actually is it?
So when are you born?
97.
So yours happening right now.
So like I just turned 29.
You just turned 29.
Yeah.
So your Saturn is probably in Aries.
Okay.
So you're realistically having your Saturn return now.
Okay.
Or it just ended, but probably based on everything I've heard that's going on, is probably starting now.
Got it.
And so Saturn takes 28 years. So the sun takes 1 year, or the earth takes 1 year to go around the sun.
Yeah.
So you have a birthday every year. Saturn, let's say it's over here when you're born, takes 28 years more or less to orbit.
To be in the same spot that it was in when you're born. Gotcha.
So basically we take a snapshot, like we take a picture of you when you're born, or take a picture of the sky when you're born. Let's say your Saturn's in Aries. 28 years from now, Saturn will be back in the same spot.
Gotcha.
So kind of right now is what it means on a, qualitative or quantitative level. I don't know.
Yeah.
But on
physical
that level,
plane.
Yeah, on the physical plane, that's what happens.
Yeah.
It goes back to the exact same placement, to the same degree, like we were talking about, in the skies when you were born.
Got it.
And what that means on a on a personal level is when you're born with Saturn in that place, you're born with that structure in the world. So you're born into a world that has that structure, and that's just how you're imprinted. And the next 28 years, you start testing what that means.
Got it.
You know, so like the Saturn is like pushing against it, trying to figure out, you know, trying to learn its lessons
Sometimes
of
I'm fighting it, sometimes I'm leaning into it, but like I'm just learning.
Yeah, you're learning. You're trying to make it work, and there's a lot of lessons that come up of how it's actually going to form. Saturn in Aries, where realistically probably you're born, is the crystallization of the self. Saturn doesn't necessarily like being in Aries because Aries does not want to be constricted, and Saturn wants form, and Aries is not form.
Yeah.
You know, and Saturn was like, what do we do with this? Like, what do we do with this energy that's just going everywhere? Like, we got to put it into something. It's like trying to tell a newborn child, learning how to live, to like
stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay and stop crying.
Yeah. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Eat, you know, at certain, you know, like,
Yo, let's chill.
let's chill. Just be here. There's rules to this, you know, like it doesn't work so well, you know. But Saturn in Aries now is like this Saturn return for any of my friends who are having Saturn returns. I've got a couple of them that are going into it. It's really stepping into the self, like with authority. Yeah. Because Saturn generally is authority. Aries is impulse and, you know, freedom in the self-expression or freedom in who you are. So Saturn and Aries, and the people born with Saturn and Aries, like you're born in 97, bro. I was born in 89. So my first couple years of life, there was no internet, right? There's no internet. There's technology, sure. But like
for me, I remember the distinct shift from mobile phones to iPhones. Like to me, that was like the big, like there was always internet, but it was like AOL. But like that, you know, there was always that. But like once the iPhone happened, that was like the huge fucking like something's happening here. Yeah.
When was that? Like 2000?
Dude, I feel like I was in middle school maybe. So it was maybe 2005
or something?
2006. Yeah. 2005, 2006, somewhere around there.
Okay. That makes sense.
But like, you know, then over the next like 3 years, it started like actually becoming popular. And then it was pretty clear, like, this is going to change everything.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah. And it
did. You know, and it changed itself. Like, right around that time, Uranus went into Aries. Uranus is going to Gemini now. Uranus takes 85 years. So when Uranus return is 80, it's basically your lifetime.
Got it.
Yeah. Whereas Saturn goes a little faster. But Uranus was in Aries in around 2010, 2008, maybe. Something like this, but around this time that the iPhone came out. And part of what Uranus does, it's the revolutionary. It's like the shocking change maker that brings in new things that irrevocably change the world. Yeah. Like we're not going back, you know, unless everything goes away, and then iPhones will go away. But like iPhones came in, they're not going anywhere. And Uranus in Aries was the selfie revolution, or like, you know, when Uranus came in to change how we view ourself and how our self-identity is presented to ourselves in the world.
Holy shit, yeah.
So Uranus came in there, and all of a sudden it's selfies everywhere, right?
Then it's, I mean, at the same time, it's Facebook, Instagram, like, so
MySpace.
that was the birth of social media.
Totally. It's at this time where our sense of self was very dependent on this medium of exchange with technology, and also in how we're perceived by our peer group, who we might never meet, right? So this Uranus in Aries happened in 2007, 2010-ish, that time. And now for Saturn in Aries, so anyone born in 97, you had this Uranus in Aries where like you were born probably, that would have been, you were 13, right? Like 12 or 13 in 2010. So that's kind of formative years where you're starting to learn about the iPhone and forming your identity through social media. Yeah. And now when Saturn comes into Aries, you've learned and gone through that whole process, and you come back to that point of being like, okay, who am I really? Yeah. Who do I want to be about with all these things, but who am I? So yeah, it's a really, actually, you know, the people with their Saturn and Aries going through their Saturn return now are meant to be pretty strong leaders in a way. Yeah. Sick. Yeah. Of like,
I am.
Totally. And I am is a big one with Aries as well, right? Yeah. That's the mantra of Aries is I am.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Like I am here. Yeah. You know, I am this, like, you know, we're here and doing it. And so basically that's what the Saturn return is, I guess, you know, through that lens, but it's going through the whole process where all the things kind of get accumulated and you start understanding all these different things. So when Saturn return happens, you get crystallized and be like, oh yeah, I've been here. I've been doing that for 28 years against everything or with everything else. And now I'm ready to step into this. Yeah.
Now it's time to like, let the structure really start to like come into its form.
Totally.
Like it's true form.
Yeah. This is more or less like, cause you'll have a second Saturn return when you're 56. Yeah. But 0 to 28 is a lot of learning.
Mm-hmm.
And then 28 to 56 is like, okay, putting it into practice and seeing what can be built here with that.
Yeah.
You know, which is super interesting. Like my Saturn return was in 2018. And literally the day of my Saturn return, I rolled into a combo ceremony or into a combo retreat on the top of this mountain in Colombia and went in with combo and started going in with plant medicine, like big time, you know? So we all have these things like in different ways where just everything in your life has culminated to that point for you to be able to step into that kind of with full presence.
So is it always like when you turn 28, like the beginning of 28 is like the beginning of the Saturn return, or can it be?
No, there is some variance because
gotcha.
the actual orbit is elliptical or
gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a bit different.
Yeah,
it's like 27 to 29 and a half years more or less.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I've got a friend who was born in October of 97 and his Saturn's in Aries.
Okay, gotcha.
So kind of assuming that yours would be too.
Well,
you're born in January?
January 97. So I just had my birthday.
Okay, dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Interesting. Cool
Yeah, the Saturn return's a funny one. Like Saturn is the ruler of the third dimension, more or less, given form. Like this is a Saturnian thing. Like to put four corners on a table so it stands up, you know, and so things stay up in reality is Saturn.
Yeah.
You know, Saturn makes things stick.
The reason I don't fall through this couch.
Exactly. Saturn rolled up, you know what I mean? And Neptune's kind of seventh dimensional, more or less.
Okay.
Uranus tends to be fifth dimensional, you know, like just, and the different octaves of energy. But it's interesting that Neptune, seventh dimension, more or less, and Saturn, third dimension, well, both these lords, the third and seventh dimension, are going into Aries together.
Yeah.
And somewhat getting activated with his Uranus, which is the fifth dimension. So it's like, there's this whole fifth world, fifth dimensional.
Sounds like there's a lot of energy that is just all happening at once.
Yeah, always. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah. Yeah, but it happens at some key points, you know? Like, but either way, yeah, it's popping off. So I know that wasn't that short.
No, that was perfect.
But yeah, we're kind of, as a humanity, coming into ourselves to step into this new future and this new way of interacting with reality with more sovereignty as ourselves.
Like right now, everybody, like
it's
regardless
available.
of how old you are.
Yeah. It's available to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, have you heard of the Condor and Eagle prophecy?
Just say it. so like sort of, but like not
kind
really.
of. Yeah. It's like this 500, 600-year-old prophecy that I guess the Hopi and the Cherokee and, you know, there's different Native American tribes that speak about it, and some in Europe and whatnot. And they basically say that in the times of great change, the eagle will be flying in the sky, you know, will be high, you know, flying the thing. And that when the condor decides to fly, or when the condor and the eagle share the sky together, the great peace can occur. The great unification of the world, or unification of reality can come together. And more or less, the eagle represents the Western world, you know, of like the colonial, imperial, kind of looking for new land to settle and like finding the things, having the eagle vision of like above and finding things to hunt or to like acquire. Yeah. Where the condor is the indigenous people who live with the land. And apparently the condor's been here for millions of years. Like it's one of the oldest animals. Yeah. So it's been through some shit and survived some crazy stuff. Yeah. And so it's the survivor. It's the one who just lives with the land and is always here. And when the condor and the indigenous wisdom and the indigenous way of life and this imperialistic or colonial kind of way, you know, start coming together and start flying together, then the world will be able to reach its potential in the great peace. And so it feels like that's the time we're in now. And also I've spoken with some elders and they say that the interesting thing with the prophecies, it doesn't say it will happen. It says the conditions are correct for it to happen.
Got it. Like the conditions are there. So is it like, I don't know, the way that you think about it, does it sort of make sense that if those conditions are ripe, that things either get like way more chaotic or sort of go that direction? Because it seems like that's like we're sort of swinging in the other direction. Yeah.
It feels like we potentially have to swing in the opposite direction, you know, like before you make any big decisions or any like big things happen in your life. I don't know. Like you're saying, even with plant medicine. Yeah. And then
things have to, I think things have to fall apart. Yeah. And sometimes aggressively. Yeah. In order to fight it. Like in order to make room for that greater thing to then come to fruition. I mean, even you talking about, you know, your story with like cocaine, like being at sort of that rock bottom state and being like, well, what the fuck do I have to grab onto? But like it had to get there
Yeah.
in order for you to then be open to this next new thing that then gives you the purpose and like
Totally.
helps things actually come together.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like chop wood, carry water again.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just in it, you're like, okay, this is what we gotta do.
This is
this
it.
what I believe in. And like all of a sudden the things shift and you're like, oh, maybe I gotta change some ways or something. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I have a lot of faith and belief that humanity is going the right direction.
Yeah.
And we kind of have, like, you see like, government powers of people doing some stuff, and yeah, there's some really terrible things happening out there. And also, it's like, okay, that's human nature then, I guess. Right?
We've always done terrible things.
Yeah.
Throughout our entire existence.
Yeah, it's happening. And now now we see it. And we're like, do we want to do that? Maybe not. Maybe actually that was hidden for me before. Now I'm seeing them like, I definitely do not believe in that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely interesting with all these, everything that's like coming to light about all these different, you know, power systems and you know, different dynamics that have been there. Like I see a lot of people that are just like, that are shocked in this way that I'm not shocked at all. Like they're seeing it for the first time and being like, oh my God, like, did you know that this was happening? And sort of thinking like it's now just happening without really realizing like, no, it's been happening the whole time. It's just now we see it.
Totally.
But like, this has always been going on in some form, in some way or another.
Yeah.
This has always been what was happening. And like, you know, you can't even look at it in a positive way of like, with everything that's happening in social media of all this, like now we do have eyes on it. Like now we have the ability to realize that this fucked up shit's going on, and you can choose to get sucked into it, and you can choose to like get sucked into that like negative energy and like, you know, sadness, or you can choose to go the other way.
Totally.
And be like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I heard too from someone I was working with that it's like, if it becomes a thing where you're like, yo, the light, I'm with the light. We have to fight the dark, you know, or it's going to be this battle of light versus dark. Like as soon as you're in the fight, you lost.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, and it's not so much about fight. It's not about fighting. It's about being like, all right, this is it. Like Jordan Peterson says this too, right? Like to really be your fullest, most enlightened self, whatever this is, like you have to reconcile with the monster inside of you. You have to know there's a monster there. There's a monster in every single one of us.
Yeah. And that's, I'm glad you brought that up. Like everything that's happening in this chaos is, every single one of us is capable of these terrible atrocities. Every single one of us. Like this is human nature. And so, yeah, not so much like battling and thinking it's like an us versus them thing, but realizing that like this is within me too. And like being at peace with that and realizing that like it's not, you know, it's not a fight. It is just, I don't know, like a state of being almost.
Yeah. And understanding that is there. Like there's this idea that any of your dark aspects or whatever, like anything inside you, your shadows, you had to make friends with them. You know, and like
they just want to be seen. They just want to be acknowledged. That's it. But like they don't want to be demonized.
Yeah, they don't have to be.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, and these things like I think some of the darker things that are happening, like they're used to gain power and energy and attention. You know? So if they're used to gain negative attention, you're like, yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna fight that. It's like, oh, it's doing what it's wants
doing
to do.
exactly.
It's winning.
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, exactly. It's working. If you're like, yeah, I see that, man. You don't got to be like that or whatever. Not even you don't have to be like that. Just like, all right, yeah, I feel you. I understand why that's the thing.
I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah, straight up. Then it's not so fun anymore.
Have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Then it kind of dissipates. On its own.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel it's a really interesting thing. Like again, there's no point potentially. Chop wood, carry water.
Yeah.
And like who knows what it's gonna look like, but I really feel like we're moving in this direction that reality is about to get super, super good.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it already is. Like throughout this, you know, all these chaotic times, I'd say like when COVID started, that was really kind of the big shift. My life's gotten so much better.
Totally.
My life's gotten phenomenal.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah.
So, you know, it's all a matter of perspective, but like it is, you know, I think to wrap it up here, to again bring it back full circle as you've been saying, but like it is just chop wood, carry water. And if you're too focused on what's ahead, then like you're missing the experience that you're supposed to be having right now. And you're missing what's right in front of you and realizing that like this is the experience. Like it's not we're not waiting for this grand thing to happen and then we're all just going to be sitting around in bliss all the time.
Yeah.
It's realizing that you can choose to do that right now.
Totally.
And that comes with the daily habits of chocolate care water.
Totally. And you know what actually is coming up for this is I was listening to one of the elders speak, and he was saying, it was a video of a couple months ago, and he was like, yo guys, there's been all these messages of we're in the 11th hour. You know, we got to worry about climate change and worry about pollution and worry about how we're treating all these things. And it's like, yo, we're in the 12th hour. It's it. This is a time now. It is happening. Like, there's no looking back. There's nothing to do besides let go of the shore. Like, you know, we're in a river. We're in this rushing river. We're trying to cling onto the riverbank. And all there's to do now is let go. Like, there's no riverbank. Like, the thing is not there anymore. So let go. Let the water take you.
Yeah.
And then when you come up, you know, when you come back up for air, just celebrate with all the people who have also let go of the shore that you're swirling in the middle of the river, this rushing river with, and be like, yeah, we're here.
We did it.
Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? And you're still going down the river.
Yeah.
You know, but
He hasn't stopped.
yeah, straight up. And it's rushing places, it's rapids, and, you know, like whatnot. But, you know, you just got to let go and let it, you know, let it unfold.
Yeah. I love that, man. That's fucking beautiful.
Let's go, brother.
On that, I think we're going to end. That was a phenomenal time with you, my friend.
Epic, brother. Thank you
and,
so much.
Everybody that's watching, whether you're listening to this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever the fuck you get this, make sure to subscribe, and then also check out the community that I'm building on Patreon. I also release episodes early on there, so you get early access and access to some other cool stuff. Make sure that you're following me on social media. I'll link to all those in the description of this podcast, and then also give Wes a follow as well. I'll go ahead and link to all of his stuff.
Let's go.
Gracias, hermano. Thanks for a wonderful time.
Epic, man. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
That's it.
Let's go.